So finally, we have the last effect that I had to simulate, which is of course nuclear fallout. And finally, nuclear fallout from surface bursts can, it turns out, greatly increase the death toll because of the high level of radiation. Depending on the weather pattern, the high level of radiation on the population can it turns out greatly increase the death toll. And I looked at for each city several different weather patterns to get a sense of how could the weather affect the fallout pattern. And the bottom line is that the nuclear fallout weather, depending on the weather pattern, the nuclear fallout extent could affect millions of people in some way or another. And on the bottom right, there's just a graph showing the kind of more long-term effects of nuclear of radiation. And so the yellow, for example, is a definitive increased risk of cancer, and you can see it's covering basically the entire city. Um, but back to the prompt effects and the short-term casualties that we will see. Uh, it turned out that for all the simulations I did, this one case in the Dubai simulations was the most extreme fallout, and that means the wind was very low on that day, and so the fallout basically stayed exactly where it was, and we saw very high fallout in the local area. So this graph, there's a lot going on, so please like ask if you have a question. But basically, so there's two important points to consider. So at this pink circle is the 100 is based on the prompt effects. It's there will be 100 rem of radiation. So so this means that uh there will be definitely some acute radiation injuries and increase of cancer in this area, but basically with 100 rem of radiation, the people in this area would neglecting the blast effects, if they were to able to get treatment, they could survive this level of radiation. However, after you see the dramatic effects of the fallout in the same area, this 500 rem due to the fallout effects within I believe 4 hours. Um, so now with this 500 rem, you're seeing about maybe you're seeing almost like a much higher, maybe over 50% death within 6 weeks or something like that. So now due to this fallout that's occurring in the area, now 600 a total of 600 rem will be acquired by the people in this area, and now the survivability will drastically go down because of how much radiation they're being exposed to in this region. And so out here, what is happening at this blue circle? So this is the extent of the considerable building damage. And so out here, there is actually not so much prompt radiation. So if someone could dodge the building's attack, or maybe they have some injuries due to the falling debris, but they may escape. They could still leave and live a long, healthy life out at this blue circle. But due to the fallout, which is going to be occurring over the next 4 hours and longer, they will acquire a dose of 300 to 500 rem, which now this will greatly decrease their ability to survive injuries, burn injuries, and physical injuries due to terribly harmful effects to their immune system. So a higher incidence of infection on injuries and will be common, and now it's going to be much difficult to treat these people if the city even has the capabilities to treat this many people, and if the surrounding area even has the capabilities to treat that many people that are now uh, suffering from these effects.